wanted to own it, just wanted to take the time, learn all the things that I could about you. Now it's such a mess here, oh, we are just stressed here. Used to be so easy with you.
Welcome to the Everything Sparkle Show. With us, we have Chef Ross, and I'm so excited because it's been a while since we've never actually had a Zoom live chef. So, and it's kind of messed up because I won't be able to taste what you're cooking. So
it's okay. I'll do all the tasting for you. No problem.
Oh, that's fair. But you do this is your regular shtick. You do your cooking show on Instagram. Tell us about it.
So, first of all, thanks for having me. Secondly, yes, Instagram, we do a lot of cooking. So it actually started when COVID happened last March. So, people know that I'm a CEO of a big app called Quote This Project that's available in North America. But one of my hobbies is cooking. I trained being from Sicily, so born in Sicily.
Wow.
So born in Sicily, trained in Sicily, trained in France, trained in Belgium. I did a lot of cooking in the Caribbean. So that was more of a hobby, right? I was supposed to go to law school, right? And I got way derailed, okay? So, of course, Sicilian parents, they either want their kids to be a doctor or a lawyer, okay? But listen, I chose technology instead.
Well, technology is the way to go nowadays. The cooking.
100%, right? I don't think I made a wrong decision, right? Now, I would never, ever choose being a chef for a full-time job. I love what I do. In this kitchen, we have a back kitchen. We have a kitchen up north at the ski chalet. I'd rather have customers over, take our time,
right? I get
have
that.
A glass of prosecco, right, and then just take it easy and cook. So really, it's my escape. So I work on, because most of our developers are in California, they're in India. I tend to work around the clock. So my kids smell all kinds of food, chicken parm. They smell eggplant parmesan in the middle of the night because I don't know what to do with myself. So I use this as an escape. Some people go to the bar. Some people play pool. This is my man cave we're looking at right here, right?
And I get it because being a cook in a restaurant is a very stressful job. So I understand why you're like, I want this to be my hobby and not my profession. I totally get you.
Exactly, right? Now, listen, the Food Network asked me to be on the show for one episode of Wall of Chefs. It's a Canadian show. So I gladly accepted, right? So, and I did extremely well in it. But again, just like you said, it's a hobby, it's a passion, and I want to keep my passion as my hobby, right? Not as my work, right?
Right. So, do you live in Canada right now?
I do.
What part?
Toronto.
That's awesome. But your business is all what area does your business right? I'm sorry to go back onto your business, but I was so fascinated by it.
So we are the app is on the App Store and Google Play, but it's available in across North America, UK, France, and of course across Canada.
Nice. And so we can be a part of it. And so the app is, you said you set up people that need house designs or house fix-its.
So I'll tell you the way it got started. So we put a pool in about 3 years ago. Okay.
Did you design that kitchen, by the way, or was that made?
I did.
I was gonna say that does not look like a kitchen that came.
I designed it, right? I'm so finicky. I design all my stuff at home. My wife, I drive her crazy, right? I won't make her choose anything, but whatever. So I'm in the backyard. I'm calling a bunch of guys saying, hey, Tony, Vince, Mark, do you know somebody who can put a pool in and put my flagstone? So they gave me a few numbers. So I'm there all day, just calling around, right? It took me a week to finally get 3 contractors to actually respond to me. And then when they finally responded to me, they said, next season. I'm saying, next season? It's April.
I want one this summer.
I want it now, right? I want my flagstone now. I'll pay, right? I don't care, sir. I says, you know what, babe? I gotta create an app. I had a flight to San Francisco a week later, so I had all kinds of time. being in the airport, and then of course being 5 hours stuck on a flight. So I said, and I started whiteboarding on my laptop, right? So I started brainstorming on what an app should look like, where homeowners could just take a picture, whether it's a brand new pool, flagstone, they want their TV hung, they want that broken ceramic fixed, a dishwasher installed, a room painted. Snap a picture, upload it, put in your zip code or a postal code or the code postal wherever you are, okay? And then put the timeline. I need my project completed by December 31st, April 5th, whatever, right? Hit submit. In seconds, you get responses from people who actually want to work and can meet your timeline. That's what I love about it, right? So of course, it took off, and we're growing, and we got our first round of funding.
So we can get this on the Apple Store, right?
On the App Store. It's called Quote This Project. We can, I guess you can pin it up after if you wish.
This is so amazing. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Quote my project, right?
No, Quote This Project.
Quote this project.
Yeah.
That is just genius. And you spend the time developing it. So you were always kind of like in the web development area, right?
I was always in technology, being a Microsoft engineer, right? And we had offices in, like I said, California and India. So I said, guys, this is the rough thing I think it should look like. Go ahead and create it. So they came back 6 months later. We did 4 months of testing. We're just we're revising it right now as we speak for different languages. So it can be in Espanol. There it is. It could be in Spanish. It could be in German. It could be in Italian, en français, right? So you know what? As long as you get a postal code, we don't want you to put your address in, right? Because that's too creepy. Just a general area, because listen, contractors will work in a particular zip code in a particular city, right? Somebody from Manhattan may not want to go to Jersey, right? Or down the shore, right? So they have
This is great, because I mean, also if you're contemplating hiring people or doing a project yourself, you're gonna be like, well, we'll see how much it is. So if it's cheap enough, you might like, I just want to hire someone to do it. I mean, this is brilliant. I can't even believe this, that you thought,
right.
Things that so it should have already been done.
Yeah, exactly. So it gives you, like, my wife's like famous for this. She'll say, I wonder what this feature wall with marble would cost with a fireplace. So she takes a snapshot of a picture on Pinterest or House, uploads it to the app and says, how much would this cost, right? Even before you invite any contractor or handyman to the home, you can start looking at their responses, what they would charge you, and their ratings and reviews from other homeowners, right? So, right. And on the contractor side, it's fabulous because they don't have to go out 3-4 days spending their time quoting, driving around.
Yeah,
they got pictures.
It's like, can we do it? Can we not?
Exactly.
That's awesome.
This is my price. This is what I'm going to charge. I may charge more if I see that you need extra flagstone, but I'm charging this much a square foot. You know what I mean? So, anyways, that's the app.
I love talking. Can we multitask? We got to talk and cook because.
Yeah, for sure. You know what? I love talking. I love cooking. So
what are we cooking today?
This is one of my favorites. Okay, so my daughter had her sweet 16 birthday party last weekend, and she goes, Dad, I want your best. So what I like to do, and if you watch my show, The Untitled Cook, I like to do things differently. So tonight, and I know you want something healthy. This is kind of healthy. This is healthy Italian. It's healthy Italian, right? So what I have here is chicken thighs that I marinated in olive oil and basil. Okay. And what we're gonna do is we're going to skewer them. Okay. And then we're going to bread them. We have here breadcrumbs, we have Parmesan cheese, and we have dried parsley, dried basil. Okay, so we're going to bread them. We're going to have our oil on there. I use avocado oil to fry. Okay, never use olive oil to fry. Huge mistake. It's just way too dense. It doesn't have a good burning capacity. So, and then we're going to fry them up lightly. We're going to put them in the oven. I got the oven at 400 already. Okay, when they come out, we're going to grate them with fresh Parmesan. Put the 3 cheeses. the Holy Trinity. We got provolone, we got Reggiano Parmigiano, and we got fresh mozzarella. Once we do that, we're going to put a little bit of sauce, finish it off with some chili peppers, dried chili, some rosemary and basil, and that's our dish this evening. It's quick, and it's a great appetizer. When I have wine evenings in the backyard, right, I'll make a few of these. I'll do veal, and I'll do chicken parm on a stick, put it on a platter by the pool, and it's great because no one's got to pull out a fork and a knife, right? It's great. They pick it up, and they eat it, right? I have it at all my cocktail parties as well. So it's a great dish. So I hope you enjoy it. So I'm going to get started because I know that.
If you send it to me, I'll enjoy it. This seems easy. This seems like an easy, I mean, not easy, but it seems like something that we could do.
Absolutely. So can you see me okay?
Oh, you're amazing right now.
So what I like to do is I like to skewer the meat just in here. Just like that. And then I cut them. There we have it, right? That's it. So we'll do, I'll throw these in there and we'll do one more. And you know what? You could grill these as well, right? You can pan grill these if you got the right skillet, right? Or you could just barbecue them, right? But it's just so simple. So yeah, these are what, like, so I take a lot of the traditional recipes that I learned in Sicily and Rome, and I just spice it up a little bit, right?
Do you live there for a while, or you just vacation there?
I trained there. So I did what's called an agriturismo. An agriturismo is what we know here in North America as farm to table. Okay. So you live off the farm. So if the father wakes up or the farmer wakes up in the morning and says, "All right, we're going to feed the chickens, or we're going to cultivate the land," whatever needs to be done, you're doing it. But you know what? In the meantime, you get taught by one of these great chefs on everything. Like, this is really raw cooking. It's just amazing. And I did that in France, Sicily, Rome, and Northern Italy. So what we're going to do here. Get that out of the way. And I'm going to put the oil on. Now, what Italians like doing is to get the essence of garlic. We like to take this garlic, smash it up, just like that, and just throw it in the hot oil.
Nice.
It's now going to start giving the essence. Now, if I was doing a steak the same way, because I sear it all the time in there, I would use rosemary as well and a little bit of truffle oil. How's the weather in California these days?
Warm enough. I mean, it's pretty,
Warm enough. Nice.
Yeah, so it's warmer. I mean, but I'm so spoiled from being warm that when I'm a little bit cold, I get like, oh, it's cold. And you'd probably be just in a tank top and be like, what are you talking about, Sparkle?
I remember my first trip to San Diego. I think it was June. And of course, June here in Toronto, the weather hasn't started turning yet. Well, we don't get the summer weather yet. And here I am down in San Diego with my shorts, and I want to go in the water. And the locals are going like, "What are you, like, from Canada?"
Yeah.
I'm saying, "Yeah, I am."
Yeah, we're like babies here. It's funny. So how much, right, what you just have right now, is that for like a couple people? How many people are you planning to feed with that?
This would be for maybe 2 or 3 folks, right? They're great portions, right?
So how much meat was that you got?
It's only 2 chicken thighs. That's all it is.
That's not bad. That
And
would
look at the size of that, right? You can definitely put 2 on 1 here, right? Definitely. Like, look at the size of these.
Right. I like that. No, that's really good.
Yeah, we'll be done within half an hour with this dish. It's really nice. Sometimes
So the cook time is like, how long is the cook time?
Cook time is we're gonna fry them for about 5 minutes, and then in the oven for another 10. That's really about it.
That's not bad. That's
not bad at all, right? And you know what? Since we got the kids home with COVID these days, no one's going to school. It's all virtual, right?
Right.
I'm cooking all the time for the kids. Right?
Oh yeah.
Today they're spoiled. Today they had Korean short ribs, right? Fresh, right? Like, who gets that, right?
I mean, you've just messed them up for life, you know.
You know what? I did a post and I said that. I said my kids will no longer accept peanut butter and jelly sandwiches. No more, right? No more.
So the sauce I'm looking at, is that a can? Did you make that?
So our tomato sauce we make every year. Okay, so we get fresh San Marzani tomatoes from these local farms. The nice thing is here, which, you know, Toronto is kind of adopting some of the character of California, where, you know, when I'm in California, a lot of farm to table, a lot of organic foods. You know what? Fresh garlic, right? A lot of fresh garlic in Monterey, right? In Carmel, right? So anyways, so all these fresh ingredients, right? We have San Marzani tomatoes that we make. I make about 150 jars every year of fresh sauce, right?
Okay.
So I don't.
How long does that last?
8 months.
Okay.
8 months, right? So we have that. I can. The way to tell if the avocado oil is ready to sizzle, my garlic is talking back to me. Okay, so it's kind of giving you that. Hey, I'm ready. Put me in, right? So I'm gonna start putting these in.
I love the sound of it sizzling. This is so sad that I can't taste this right now.
Right? It smells amazing.
What did the people say that watch your show? Are they like, oh my gosh, it looks amazing and we can't have it? Like, what are we gonna do?
I'll tell you what they tell me. A lot of the folks say, hey Ross, you remind me of my grandfather. You made this dish the other night, which was like spot on the way my grandmother used to make her ricotta fried gnocchi. That makes me feel amazing, right? And so folks will message me on Instagram and say, hey, my grandmother used to make this dish, right? With peas, prosciutto, fresh bow tie pasta, cream sauce. Can you replicate it? And I'll do it for them, right? So it's pretty nostalgic, right, to have that, right? And and that's why I keep doing it, because I get these great messages from folks on Instagram, and it really warms my heart, and it gives me just the umph to keep going and do this, right? Not only is it my passion with friends, because Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, we're outside around my pizza oven, just killing ingredients and killing pizzas, right? But it's just nice to see the comments on Instagram. So
I bet people, like, you know, I've heard lately how big cooking shows are. That's one of the biggest thing in podcasts. People like, well, I heard murder and cooking shows. I don't know. I don't know if that goes together, but those are like the two biggest like watched you know, podcasts. So it's
absolutely,
it's a big thing. But to me, it's like, it always makes me hungry. I'm not saying, but I do get hooked on cooking shows. But at the same time, in theory, it's like, I don't know why, because it just makes me hungry.
You know what? You're right. It's live TV, cooking shows. I'm telling you, it's just outrageous. Like when I was on that episode on the Food Network, I'm walking down the street in my ski chalet, which is like 2 hours north, and people go, hey, aren't you the guy that made that Sicilian swordfish? And I love my Prosecco when I cook. I love Prosecco.
So explain to me, what's the difference between your Chef Ross, but what's the Cantura cook? Explain to me the difference of like, is that the name of your show, and why do you go by that?
Okay, great question. So I'm just gonna turn that off because those are ready. So my first episode, it was like 30 degrees, which is like 100 degrees Fahrenheit. And I'm outside and I'm cooking by the pool. I'm making arancini, the Sicilian rice balls. And it was so hot. And so I took off my shirt and I had my undershirt. Now in Sicilian, an undershirt is called canotera, right? It's some people call them, you know, the guinea shirts. You know what I mean? They're the cotton shirts, right? So somebody came over and says, "You're the canotera cook." I said, "Okay, we're going with that." So my daughter makes all my logos. She's my graphic designer, right? So we keep it all in the family here.
I love it. Oh my gosh.
I have paper towels on my aluminum tray here. I'm going to take these out, drench them a little bit. I'm also going to pat them dry as well. Just pat some more of the oil off. I think I'm being healthy. I'm using avocado oil, right?
We'll go with it. We'll go with it.
We'll go with that, right? Okay, so now, this is how it comes together, everybody. So, you can see that there? Is that better right there?
Oh, you're amazing. No, I'm just looking. I don't need to bend closer. I see everything.
So, I have parchment paper here on the tray. I'm going to just take a little bit of this San Marzano tomato sauce.
Hey, the show that you were on, was that a contest or it was just you were on it? Like,
it was a contest.
So how far did you get?
I'm going to send it to you. I won't tell you. I won't spill the beans.
You got to tell us. Not everyone here is going to watch it. Just tell. Can you give us a hint?
I made it all the way. Actually,
oh my gosh, really?
One of the chefs said, "Hey, can I hire you?" I said, "No." I said, "This is my passion. Maybe that's why I do so good with it. It's my passion." So you see how I have them sitting in the San Marzano
on the
sauce?
sauce. Okay, is that so it doesn't stick?
No, just because we're not gonna turn them, right? They're gonna be evenly coated.
Okay.
Right? Now to this, okay. Now first thing I do is I put my Reggiano Parmigiano, because now the chicken is still a little bit warm, so it's gonna just melt to the breadcrumbs. Then I'm gonna take my provolone cheese. This is a very sharp, extra salty provolone. It's so delicious. Now, before we put the mozzarella, we're gonna do another layer. Just very simple of the San Marzano tomato sauce.
I mean, these are all the things I love. I gotta admit, I love sauce. I love cheese. I love meat. I mean, this is just
beautiful, right? And simple, and not a lot of ingredients, right? Again, we only use two chicken thighs.
That just looks amazing. Victoria, when I come see this food, it's amazing. Just come on really quick. I have a friend here. She wants to see. So look at, he's making. So what's this dish called?
It's called chicken parmigiana on a stick, or chicken parm on a stick.
So he has these chicken thighs, and he put the sauce on, that he made the sauce, and then the cheese. Isn't this amazing?
That sounds really good.
And he's in Canada, so good luck to whoever tastes it. He comes to California a few times a year, though. So.
Yeah.
A little bit of Himalayan salt, some crushed black pepper, we got some nice red chilies that I dried out from my garden. Just gonna put some of those on. Some truffle oil, not too much because truffle can ruin everything. And then we're gonna put them in the oven for about 10 minutes at 400. That's the dish.
Yay! Oh my god! Well, you'll have to send us a picture when it's completed, and then
have to try it, huh?
I know we can make this. It's not that hard. I really think that we could make this. So okay,
well,
so I know
before we end the show, I'm gonna take them out of the oven anyway, just to show you how the cheese melts, and this way you'll have an idea of how they look, right? And I'll put them on the platter here. And on the platter,
I see all your videos too on Instagram and all of this. Do you have it too where it's written out? Because some of us, it was really dumb, and we need to see it all written out as well. And then we're going to get the ingredients. Yeah. So do you have everything written and the videos together?
I do.
Okay.
I do. So I just put a little bit of some marsala sauce here, more of a design. I'm going to get some beautiful black truffle salt. Just sprinkle that across the plate. The smell of that is absolutely amazing, right? That black truffle salt, right?
Are you hungry?
I'm hungry.
If you weren't hungry before, you're hungry now.
I know.
Tell me, what's one of your favorite Italian dishes?
I love baked ziti.
Oh, they're amazing. And do you like it with a bolognese sauce with a nice hearty?
I'm more of a red sauce type. I like meat sauce. I like red sauce. I mean, when it comes to white sauce, I'm a little bit more particular. What about you?
I don't know very much Italian food. I don't know spaghetti.
We're gonna have fun with her when you come to town.
Yes,
we gotta get her on my Instagram page. We got to get her on my Instagram page for sure. But
everybody's so it's mainly Italian food, but you do other things too, right?
100%. So I forgot to tell you, I'm a Thai fighter. So I do MMA. So obviously I've been to Thailand. So obviously I stayed there for a little bit, went to the markets, right? Learned how to cook true, authentic red.
That is such a switch.
Oh,
it is.
Crazy.
That's a switch.
It is. Right. So
people that they're like, wow, this guy cooks really good Thai food, and they look at you and they're like, what?
It's true. Like, you know what? At first, when I was the canotera Sicilian cook, which I totally changed, I took that Sicilian cook off and I just called it canotera cook, right? Just to be standard that I do everything. And people were saying, why would you do a tandoori chicken? You just finished making eggplant parmigiana last night, right? Aren't you the Sicilian cook? And I go, listen, I'm not particular to any type of cuisine, right? I love all cuisines, right? So I like to travel for food, right? Mexican as well. I do a lot of Mexican cooking, right? So I like to do everything. So I like to experiment with all flavors, right? Flavors are so, like, I just love just spending hours at the grocery store, at the fresh markets, picking up, smelling what's in season. And that's what I'll technically go with, is what's in season, right?
So with the show that you did and everything, what did you win something?
I won some money and I donated it to the Sick Kids Foundation. Right.
Oh, that's so nice. Did you have to, or you chose? Did you have to choose?
No, I chose to. People, when they were asking people, so what are you going to do with your money? Oh, I want to buy a new knife set. I want a new kitchen. I want a new stove. I just want to donate it, right?
I respect that.
I was there just for fun, right?
Right.
Like I get a lot of folks. Like there's a company called Harvest Foods in Toronto, and they do organic kale, zoodles, which is the zucchini noodles and the butternut squash. And they said, if we send you some product, would you mind doing a show for us? I said, absolutely. They said, what's your fee? I said, $0. Send me the kale, send me whatever you need to do. We're going to do a killer bolognese with those zoodles, right? So again, this is only a passion. I don't like charging. I'm like, next month I'm doing mental illness campaign. They called me to help raise money, do a live show, right? Make a few different dishes. I go on golf courses for different charities, right? I don't charge anything, right? I even have my own sponsors who provide all the food, the vegetables, the drink, right? So you know what? I got a good posse happening where we're all helping each other, and that's the way it should be. That we all should help each other.
I love that. And, I did a contest. I mean, I don't know if you my Instagram picture, I'm in a bikini, but I did a contest for Miss Health and Fitness to win money for my friend's kid who had stage 4 cancer. And that was the purpose of like that contest. I mean,
right.
So I think I totally understand that. It's not about,
So how did you feel after you did that?
Great. I mean, I didn't really even think twice about it. It was just one of those things that, like, there was a need, you do it. You like, I mean, that's better than what going on. Like, I have a car, getting, you know, I mean, like, what do you?
That's beautiful.
It's not like you're not winning millions of dollars. You're winning enough to just help someone in that little money can make a difference in someone's life, but it isn't going to do that much for me.
Exactly. Like if you go on my Instagram page, my son has type 1 diabetes, right? And that's why I always donate when I can to the Sick Kids Foundation, juvenile diabetes, okay, for type 1. Okay, I know what he's going through. When I went to the hospital, I knew that there were other families there who couldn't afford iPads or the diabetic sensors, right? So I said to my wife, we got to do something, right? So every year now I charge $250. I call it the Meat Coma event. And I get a local butcher, 3 local butchers that give me, like, you know, a side of beef, some lamb, whatever it is, right? And I put together 25 various dishes, just like these, right? Just 25 different dishes. People come, right? I max it to 50 people because I have it in my backyard, right? And we raise money, we sell more raffle tickets, and we go live. So we go live with a few comedians that are local in the area, and it's like almost like a telethon, and we have live music, and people are just donating. We raised over $50,000 for the charity, and that makes it feel great, right? So when you have that, just keep it going. Anyways, these just came out of the oven, okay? Look at that, nice and hot. So we're gonna put them right here. Now we're gonna go back to, just to finish it off.
Ooh, more cheese. He's already put cheese in it before. I think before you came here, we were just putting that. So now we got more cheese, and that's perfectly fine with me.
It's, you know what, when you can get good cheese, you can taste it. This is one of my favorite cheeses.
Yeah.
And that was what kind of cheese?
That's a Parmesan, right?
This is provolone. Sharp
provolone.
Did you use both, or it was always provolone?
Oh no, I used Reggiano Parmigiano.
Yeah.
I used provolone, and then I used mozzarella after the tomato sauce. Now that's the dish, nice and simple. So I got some basil here and parsley that I had cut up. So again, this is more for decoration, and just gives it a nice aroma to the dish. Because again, we eat with our eyes. Remember, we eat with our eyes, and then we taste. Okay. I'm not going to put any more olive oil or truffle oil.
Thank you so much.
This is it, right? This is the dish. I'm going to turn it around. That's the dish.
I love it. Thank you so much for coming on my show. This was such a treat for us. I mean, not the full experience, but this is half a treat for us.
Thank you. No, thank you for having me. And I really appreciate it. And I hope to come on next time, or hope to meet you in person one day.
No, I hope to get a full experience from you next time.
I promise you, you will. You invite me, I'll do it.
Sounds great. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Have a good night.
Bye.
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 Okay, so this is our little segment with Everything Sparkle Show. We're here on the set of Dealings. What are you dealing with?
Michael Rodriguez, director. I don't know how much I can give away.
I talk about your character.
Well, I don't know how much we can say, but it's like a Pulp Fiction-ish crime.
But what is your character? What do you do?
I am O'Brien, the typical mad Irish hitman guy, I guess. What is your character in it?
Roxanne, like the police song.
Like the police song, that's it? What is Roxanne?
Well, I don't know much. I have a husband and a, you don't call it a lover. A husband and a lover. I was about to say mistress. I'm like, that's not what they call the male version of. So I have a husband and a lover.
And it seems kind of like your character, from what I've seen anyway, your character's kind of like Sharon Stone from Casino a bit. Money hungry. Shit like that.
Yeah, you know, that's how we do it. But you've been doing a lot of stuff. Last time I talked to you on my show, it was the Zodiac, and then it was Camp Terror.
Yep.
What's in store now? You just got done doing something with Ricky Bird, right?
Yeah, I got one more shot with him. It's called Left Alone in the Snow. It's a thriller. It's kind of a claustrophobic thriller. It's a girl out in the snow and out in the mountains by herself, and she's got a guy who's kind of stalking her, and then she gets help from another guy, and is he a good guy or not? We don't know. It's one of those deals. And of course, I'm not that I'm giving away any spoils or something. I play a scumbag again.
Typecast.
Exactly.
Is there any pee in the snow? I don't know why I'm getting this image.
No, I don't think there's any. No.
So where did you guys film this? I assume you went to.
That was way up in Wofford Heights, California.
How far away? How far away from the Central Valley is that?
I think it's like 2 hours, 3 hours, 2.5 hours, but it's way up.
Did you have to stay there, or you went there every day?
Yeah, yep.
You stayed there?
Yeah. It was real thin air up there. Chelsea Newman played the main girl.
What else have we seen Chelsea in?
There's been a lot of stuff. God, I can't even seriously.
Is she an East Coast or a West Coast?
She's actually from Nassau County, New York, but she lives out here now. Yeah, she's a great actress. She had to cry. She was bawling, man. It was.
Well, you make women cry in all your movies.
Make them cry everywhere. Make them cry in bed mostly.
What does Georgia think about all that?
They're so upset that they got involved
What does Georgia think about your acting career? I know she's your biggest cheerleader.
Real supportive, big time.
How come she never got into it?
She's been I've got a few things with her. We've been on the Chelsea Lately show together.
Really?
Yeah,
I want to see that.
We were on that show together.
Can you send me a clip?
Yeah. Chelsea handled.
I bet Chelsea loved her.
Yeah, they
More
get
than,
along.
yeah.
You know what's funny? At the time when I did Chelsea Handler's show, at the time I didn't know how political she was.
Oh God,
Yeah,
you
I
did not
swear to
start
God.
talking about politics. Tell me you didn't.
No,
do
we
that.
didn't at all. That show that night, Dr. Drew and Blondie were on. There was no politics mentioned or anything, and I'll be honest, it happens to me all the time. If I knew about politics, I wouldn't have went on a show probably. I get it all the time. I get blackballed all the time. People don't hire me because.
Do they ever tell you that though, straight up because of your politics?
The people that are actually doing it know, because they're for the most part, are cowards. They won't, but they'll have their little minions do it, and whatever. I'm a firm believer, liberal, conservative, whatever. If you're right for the part, hire him. Like my buddy Ricky Birdie, he doesn't care about your politics. He hires who's the best for the part. I work for a great director, Dustin Ferguson. I think I've done 5 or 6 movies with him now. Him and I politically are complete opposites. We get along great. He's mature enough to put that stuff aside,
right?
Get what he needs to get done. I mean, I respect the guy for it. I do.
Why do you think it's okay to do that with politics anyway? Because I mean, you can't be racist, but why can you be politically prejudiced in Hollywood? Why is that okay?
It is so weird that they, the people that cry tolerance are probably the most intolerant I've ever seen. I don't want people fired. I have no problem working with someone that has a different point of view on anything with me. It's a project. We're acting. We're basically playing characters anyway. Why do we have to get that involved? Why did you bring politics up? I did. I brought it up.
What happened? Wait. So how'd you have lunch with Devin Nunes? Let's hear that.
I was at a really cool place. If you ever invite Celia, it's called Granny's Country Calf. Home cooked meals. It was great. I actually had my Devin Nunes hat on that day. And he walked up, and all of a sudden I looked up, and there he was, and I was like, "Oh my God!" And then he said something like "nice hat," and I forgot it was his hat because I wear different hats all the time.
That is so funny.
So he ended up sitting down next to me, and we had lunch together. And I'll be honest with you, I talked about a lot of issues, but then I actually told him about how disappointed I am with Republicans too. How they're basically spineless,
Was this after or before you went on my show?
This is way up. This is about a month ago, less than a month ago.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Did you tell him you talked to him, you gave him my hat?
Oh, yeah.
I'm sure that's the first thing that came up.
Yeah. But I bet you he'd go on your show. I mean, he's a really cool guy.
And it's good that he was, I mean, obviously that's very down to earth to be like, hey, you're wearing my hat. Come on over. Let's have breakfast.
What I thought was great about him is when I slammed the Republicans for stuff, he agreed with me on a lot of stuff. He said, what happened to having a spine? You guys, you get your chance at bat, and you swing and miss. You got to, one way or the other here,
Right. Welcome to the Everything Sparkles Show. Tom, I'm so glad to finally be with you. Tell us everything that you do.
Thanks so much for having me, Sparkle. It's really just an honor and privilege to be with you today. But I do a lot of different things. I'm an actor. I'm a SAG-AFTRA actor. I'm a filmmaker. I'm a writer. I run a video production company, and I host a podcast just like you. So a lot of different things.
We're like the same people. I'm the West Coast version of you.
I think so, yeah.
So tell me what you're working on now. I know you just got out of a meeting. You don't have to give the specifics on that, but what are some of the things that you're working on?
Sure. So I do a lot of corporate video, and that's kind of like the heart of what I do during the week. But I'm also a creative. So I have narrative projects that I'm working on as well. And I currently have a TV pilot called The Caphone, which is making the festival rounds. And we're trying to pitch that to the networks like Netflix, Hulu, Prime. I have another personal project called The American Benefactor, which is another narrative series that I'm trying to get on Netflix, just like everybody else. And I have another project called The Whisper from Within. It's an autobiography about a woman who became disabled. And I'm turning her autobiography into a screenplay. And I'm trying to get that project made too. So those are the narrative projects I'm working on. And just those are the passion projects. And then, like I said, I'm also doing a lot of corporate stuff as well with my company, Suburbanite Productions.
So what are you producing a lot of these projects? Are you writing them? Are you going to direct them or just act in them? Tell us about like your part in some of these projects.
Yeah, I'm a writer, director, and actor. So with The Caphone, how that came to me, and that's going to be at the Garden State Film Festival on March 27th in Asbury Park, New Jersey. We're really excited. We have a 9 p.m. screening at the Berkeley Hotel, so that's really cool. And that came to me. My uncle's a personal injury attorney in Edison, New Jersey. He's dealt with a lot of crazy clients throughout the years. And based on those interactions with these crazy individuals, he created an idea for a TV pilot about this New Jersey degenerate character. I like to say that the pilot's basically like Sopranos meets Curb Your Enthusiasm, about this kind of low-life character that causes mayhem and ruckus wherever he goes. So he knew I was a writer director. I have an experience with that. I've done this for like 20 years now, and I wrote the script and he approved it. And then from there, we hired some great actors. Let me give a shout out to the star, James Ciccone, who's currently on Marvelous Mrs. Maisel. He's an exceptional actor. He did an amazing job at this pilot. And we also have Jennifer Giles, who's amazing, Lydia Fiore, Brett Eidman, really just a great cast. Thomas Ryan, just a great cast. And it came out well, and it's funny. And when you're making a pilot, it's not a short film. This isn't like the be all end all. This is just the start to give production companies, to give distribution outlets like what this is all about, just a feel of it. And we did that. So we have the pilot, and then we also have a whole pitch Bible, which goes into who the characters are beyond what we saw on the screen, forthcoming episodes, further seasons down the line. And that's the same thing I did with my personal project, The American Benefactor. I've been working on that for like 6 years now. And I just, with my own time and my own good friends that were able to help, I created 2 short episodes that total length of 12 minutes. And I have a whole series Bible, which goes into great detail about all the characters, about the plot, etc. And then I also have a pitch deck, which I can send to production companies. That's just like a 3-page PDF. That's like, this is what this story is all about. And then we have the visual element as well. So it's exciting. I like series content. I haven't got into that really until just the last few years. I've always been just traditional filmmaking. But now that the world's changed and everybody's watching series, this is the way to go. And I'm really enjoying it a lot.
So what is going on over on the East Coast as far as reopening? Because you mentioned, the event on March 27th. Are people allowed to hang out? Is it just all outside or all masked up? How are things opening?
It's actually going pretty well. It's you have the sense that things are starting to finally change. A whole year into this horrible pandemic, it's the feeling is that things are starting to change. The event on the 27th, I believe by that time it's going to be 50% capacity indoors in New Jersey, so half the room could be filled apparently. But it definitely seems like things are getting back to normal, and we're very, very thankful for that.
That's amazing. That's incredible. I mean, that's really cool that you guys can like do these things and like have these events because they are important. You know that.
Yeah, we've had other we've had other film festivals, and they're via Zoom, and it's cool and it's great. It's great to be a part of it. But I mean, there's nothing like that real event, meeting people one-on-one, making those personal connections to really establish yourself as an artist and to further along the production process.
Right. No, for sure. So what are the things that we can kind of look forward to this year? You mentioned a lot of projects. Do you have like a succession of when some things are coming out? Is your schedule just really tight? It's like, this is May, this is June, this is July. What's kind of the timeline for some of these things?
Well, I mean, we're pitching the projects right now. So we have some festival screenings, both for the Cafone and for the American Benefactor, which I outlined. I'm currently finishing A Whisper from Within, which is the other project that I'm working on. That's just the script that I'm trying to get made. But for the American Benefactor, I have two upcoming festivals, one at the Brightside Tavern Film Festival in Jersey City, another one at Point Lookout Film Festival in Long Island. And what I'm also going to do in March, I think 9th through the 13th, is I signed up for this thing called MIP TV, which is part of the Cannes Film Festival. And it's all virtual this year, which actually is a good thing because, now I have access to all these people from all these big production companies from around the world, and I get to pitch my products and my productions to them. So I'm looking forward to that. Reaching out to agents, my attorney and I are reaching out to agents. So really trying hard to get these things picked up and get them developed. And, the timeline, it all depends, like who's interested and where we can see. But we have some meetings going on and we're hopeful and we'll see how it all pans out.
You are one busy man.
I just try to make the most. Yeah, no, I'm sorry.
No, yeah, tell us. So you're just trying to make the most of like every moment.
I am. This pandemic has really put things in perspective for me, and I think a lot of people. And I've just tried to become as productive as I can and just stay as healthy as I can and make the most out of every moment. And that's what I've been trying to do. And this, like I said, this pandemic just puts things in perspective and just trying to set goals and reach those goals and take it day by day and set little goals each day to make sure that your overarching goals are completed.
So what were some of the positives of the pandemic? You obviously had this one event you can kind of like now network with people from all over the world that may not have been as accessible. What are some of the other positives? I know some of us made the most of it and found some positives. I mean, this is a positive for me. I used to have more of a California-based show, and now I have a huge East Coast audience because I'm able to communicate with you like this. Tell us some positives on your end.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, well, the power of Zoom, making those connections all over the world that we can make via Zoom, I think is great. Also, just from a personal perspective, just health, like how important your health is and how to take that into account and make sure that you're making healthy choices in your life. And so I became vegan during the week, which I never thought I would be, but from Monday through Friday, I'm vegan, or at least I try to be. Just drinking a lot of water, exercising when I can, a whole new exercise routine. So from a health standpoint, I think I've really changed. As horrible as the pandemic was, there are definitely some takeaways that we all can use going forward to help us in our lives going forward.
So what do you do on the weekends? What's your diet like?
Oh, it's going out, steak. I know that's not a popular thing to say.
Well, I'm a personal trainer. So that's one of my many jobs. Like you wear many hats, so it's like I'm fascinated. I always want to know what the fun meals are.
Yeah, pasta, anything Italian, anything pasta or seafood or steak, all that good stuff.
Tom, how long have you been in the industry? Where did you get your start and when?
Yeah, so I graduated Rutgers College in 2003, and I did some theater at Rutgers. I did some independent film at Rutgers. And then from like 03 to like 05, I did a lot of acting in the city, both off Broadway and also independent film, which there was a little scene at the time. And then I wanted to take more control over my career. So I went to the New School in the West Village in New York City, and I learned filmmaking, and I got an MA in media studies. And I made a feature film as part of that thesis project called At the Jersey Shore. And that was an amazing experience. And it was at national film festivals, including Sonoma and Montclair Film Festival, and also the Garden State Film Festival. And it got great distribution. I got some great press out of it. And after that was all done, I continued to work on narrative projects, but that's also when I got my start into corporate filmmaking and corporate marketing videos as well. So it's been quite a journey, but it's a never-ending kind of endeavor when you get into this type of business.
What's your favorite as far as everything you do and all the hats that you wear? What's one of your favorite things to do? I know it's hard to narrow that down because you do so much, but do you like when you get to act, or you like when you just get to create new content? What's your favorite?
Yeah, I like all of it. I know, and I think that's the way the whole industry is going. It's much more diversified now than it used to be. So I love acting. I love being in front of the camera. I love being behind the camera. I love organizing everything, bring everything together. Writing, which I think is the hardest part of any creative endeavor, like actually sitting down and writing a screenplay. I've become quite proficient in that. So it's hard for me to pick just one. I really just love all of it. I just love creating something and making that content resonate with an audience and have them experience something that I was a part of.
And is it hard to just figure out what to do? Because when you get all these projects and you have to commit to one, and then another one comes on later that you're like, well, I wanted to do that. How do you figure out at this point how to manage this here, this there, and make it all work with everybody's schedule? And what projects take precedent?
That's a good question. I think it all, I think it all stems from having an organized plan from the start. So, it starts with the script, and once you get the script, organizing that by everyone's schedule and making sure that it aligns with your own creative vision. But I think it just comes down to organization and making sure that everyone is on board with the project, the creative endeavor, and their particular aspects and parts in the project.
Well, that's good. I mean, because I just think I hear a lot of times people are like, well, I was signed to this. I mean, Natalie Portman, she was doing, I think, Schindler's List on Broadway when she got offered to do, then she got offered to do The Phantom Menace when she started doing that series. And then she had to get off third Broadway of doing Schindler's List. So I just think, I wonder like how this, and now that when you get bigger and busier, you get those like hard calls, don't you?
I hope so. I hope to be in that position. I definitely hope so.
I know that might be bigger than a lot of, but it's like at this point, it's like you think you delegated it well.
Yeah. It's just making the most, like I said, it comes back to organization, making the most out of each day and making sure that you have goals and you stick to those goals. And usually what I'll do is in the beginning of the week, I'll outline what I'm going to do for each day. So Monday, this is what I want to hit. Tuesday, this is what I want to hit. And just make sure you stick to that. Because that's how I think you stay productive when you're in this crazy lifestyle and creative world that we're in. What's
one of the end game goals that you would like to see happen for your production company?
Yeah. I want to get on Netflix. I love their content. It's such high quality. I'm watching Queen's Gambit now, and it's just phenomenal. I don't know if you had a chance to see it, but wow.
I watched that. I loved it.
Oh my God, it's amazing. Yeah, their stuff is just so top notch. I would love to be on Netflix.
So to create a good series that's lasting on Netflix, that's kind of like the end game. And you'd be like, yeah. And then from there, all the opportunities that would come from that, and then create films. If you get on there, then the opportunities can really be endless. So that would be just a great, amazing foray into like a whole different realm of my career. I always ask people this. I know it sounds weird, but who's somebody you met that was a fan of yours that you were always a fan of, and you were surprised even knew your stuff, knew your work, or you got to end up working with them?
Oh, wow. Oh, I don't know. Let me try to think. Some of the actors that I worked with, I think in like Cafone, Brett Eidman, he plays one of the characters in Cafone. He plays the husband, like kind of like the the geeky guy in the pilot. And he, I didn't really know him before I casted him, but he was a big fan of like some of the stuff that I've done, and he just seemed really just a great person to work with. So having him on board and having him know my work before I even cast him, I think was really cool.
How'd you find him, or did he find you?
Just social media. I found him via social media. So I think we might have met briefly at some film festivals, but I was friends with him on social media. The industry is small at the end of the day, and you get connected with a lot of people that you might not know personally just yet. And it was really through that. And he had a great look, and I saw some of his videos, and it was what we were looking for, and it all worked out. Where
can we hear your podcast, and what's it about?
Oh, thank you for asking, Sparkle. It's the Tom Bentey Media Podcast. It's on all the different outlets like Apple, iTunes, and Amazon, and all those outlets. It's also on YouTube. I have a Facebook channel, and I have a Instagram channel as well. And I just bring on people that I think are interesting. I mean, I mentioned some of my interests in this little interview: health, wellness, creative arts. We had a great opera singer come on recently. I had one of my students, I'm also an adjunct professor, and I had one of my students come on. He just wrote a book, which I thought was really cool. Financial, I have some of my friends that are financial advisors, and I'm trying to learn from them. I had them come on and talk about some tips that we can provide for the audience.
I just did that. I love this. I love how you're like the East Coast version. Well, more successful. I just like it. But I love this. It's like and I think it's so important. I don't know what you did for your financial thing. I did like 10-minute inserts because I knew people's brain capacity didn't want to handle more than 10 minutes of financial knowledge at a time.
Yeah, no, it can be pretty bad. We focused on the GameStop controversy when that was happening a month ago. And because I didn't really understand what was going on. So my friend Sam came on and he talked about this is how it breaks down, and this is how we can potentially take advantage of it as independent investors.
That's so smart. So I'm going to definitely look up your podcast. Is it once a week?
Yeah, it hasn't been that formal yet. So I have one coming up on Friday. Actually, she's an actor that's in The American Benefactor, and I found her through, the industry's small. So James Ciccone, who plays the Cafone, he actually runs a acting class, and he has people from both East Coast and West Coast, and he teaches them audition technique. And through him, I said, hey, I need an actor for this part. He's like, I recommend Gemma. I met Gemma. It was a great fit. She's an amazing actor, amazing person. And I'm interviewing her on Friday, and hopefully it'll come out on Friday or Monday. But she is somebody she was a police officer for 20 years. And then when she wanted to have a new career, she got into acting, and now she's booking all these great shows. And it's just an interesting journey. And I think anybody that's looking to make a career move, especially one into the arts, can really benefit from learning her story. So that's why I'm having her on Friday. But it all depends. I try to do it once a week, but it's not that formal. It's kind of like when I could fit it in and when I have a good guest that's available.
I love that. And I could see her bringing a lot of depth into characters, having all that training. I imagine she has an insight none of us will ever know that she could really bring to her characters. I'm fascinated to watch that.
Thank you. Yeah, I totally agree. And you're not the only one that feels that way, because she's booking big shows. She's always seems to be working, which I think is amazing.
So where can we keep up with you when we want to know everything that's going on? Are you more Instagram heavy or Facebook heavy or Twitter heavy? Where's your go-to when you have news you want to tell us?
Instagram. Tom Bentey Media is my Instagram. So, but I'm on all the platforms as well. And you can check out my work on at suburbaniteproductions.com, and I have an Instagram for that as well.
That is awesome. Thank you so much for coming on my show, Tom. This is you're the kind of person that every year I want to catch up with you and see what you've done, because I just feel like you're doing so many incredible things, on the daily, but it's you really have it set. Do you give classes?
Oh, well, I'm an adjunct professor at a university in Jersey, so I teach once a week.
What do you teach? Oh,
I teach, it's called transmedia. So it's a great class. It goes into detail about how all media is changing. So it's, how Facebook posts are expanding that universe, and how Instagram posts are expanding the story world that you're trying to create. So it's not just about creating a film and having it distributed in the theater and then on home on a VHS. Now we're having these stories that are continuing on all these different platforms. So it's not just about multimedia, it's about transmedia, just translating that story on all these different platforms, engaging the user on all these different platforms, and expanding that universe and doing it in a way that is most beneficial for each platform.
And how to market ourselves, basically.
That's part of it. That's part of it. Yeah, that's definitely a big part of it.
So people know how to market themselves, essentially.
How to market themselves, yeah, and how to tell a story on all these different.
I think that's so
platforms.
important and fascinating, because I think that's where well, I'm going to check it out. I really appreciate that. I know you teach a class there, but I mean, what about the rest of us? What about me over here in California? Where can I get all your advice?
You know, I'm trying to get more into the YouTube teaching game. So I'm like creating videos about things that I'm knowledgeable about and putting them up there on my YouTube channel and Instagram about filmmaking, about communication, about just the things that I have an interest in, and I'm trying to just create more content that's relevant to my interest and try to build an audience on those platforms.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Tom. And thanks for putting up with me doing this on set, on location.
Oh, thank you. Really a great honor to be with you, Sparkle. Thank you so much. So happy to be here.
Felt right in the moment, felt right in the summertime. It felt right drinking cherry wine with you. Just wanted to own it, just wanted to take the time, learn all the things that I could about you. Now it's such a mess here, oh, we are just stressed here. Used to be so easy with you. Now I must confess here, oh, I must confess, dear, don't think I'm in love with you. Winter is coming and I don't know what to do, and there's no more use in running, no more running to you. And I don't want your loving, I don't wanna be just friends, knowing all this time we were playing pretend.
It's a mystery.